gaffe by Governor Mitt Romney, which effectively has taken the country by storm and is being well publicized as a reason to believe he's unfit to hold office. And so, what was that gaffe?
Well, see, Romney was wrong. He said 47% of people in the United States, citizens of the United States, don't pay income tax or make more from the government than they give the government. If you really,
wait a minute, are you talking about people that work or people that don't work?
It's just anybody, But he's saying more people get more from the government than they give to it.
Oh, okay. You mean people that don't pay taxes?
Well, they could pay. I'm just saying he's saying 40% are net gainers, right?
40% or 47%?
47%. But if you really look at, but he was wrong. He was completely wrong.
He's wrong.
Yeah, because if you look at the numbers, there's about 165 million Americans are at least partially dependent on financial benefits, right? That's 165 million.
That sounds like over half.
And there's about, and then there's about 107 million on welfare. This is according to Senator Jeff Sessions, Alabama. And when you add those numbers up, it comes about 53%.
Oh.
So actually 47% is wrong. 53% is really close to the number. So if you're just talking numbers, he was wrong about that.
But anyway, the gaffe, I think the gaffe as it related to that number, they said 47, maybe it is 53. And I do remember Jeff Sessions did bring this up and did have this broken out. But I believe the gaffe was that Governor Romney had indicated that he wouldn't even really be campaigning to those people because he felt they were already in Obama's pocket. President Obama's pocket.
Romney took this back. He said it was a mistake.
They took it back.
He took it back. He says it was a mistake.
I should have said the cow was out of the barn, but I'm going to take it back in the barn.
So he says, he was sorry about that.
He's sorry about that.
But I think what he was doing, he was saying, where are we going to concentrate our campaign resources? And since Romney is an old-fashioned guy, right, and he's kind of silly. He believes in capitalism, which nobody
capitalism.
Nobody really
believes in.
Wait a minute,
that's a magic word. That's actually been on it's almost like the 4-letter word list for the last 3.5 years.
No.
Capitalism doesn't exist.
No, but that's for old-fashioned people, and
he
believes that if you invest in something.
Yeah.
But he doesn't believe. See, he believes in the old-fashioned idea of investment.
What's that?
The old-fashioned idea of this, is if you put money into something or put effort into something,
right,
and then you profited from that,
right,
or you could take a loss out of that.
Yeah.
You either have a return on investment or a loss of investment, and you would have an investment that you would take a profit.
But that sounds like traditional capitalism.
Well, but that doesn't.
But that's not the way it goes.
No, that's not how you make money.
Wait a minute, is there a different word they use now called?
No. Investment's different. No, investment's different.
Oh, okay.
So you don't have investment by earning something or by taking capital and putting it in something. The way that you make money now is like you raise taxes. That's a great way of making money. Or you can print money.
Oh.
Or you can borrow money. So that's the new kind of investment.
Well, wait a minute. Let's take those one at a time.
That's how you invest.
When you talk about printing money, who's in charge of that?
Is that Bernanke?
Yeah, he's the one that decides whether we should print some more.
So that's the proper way of making, and they call that quantitative easing 1, quantitative easing 2, and now they have quantitative easing 3.
But that's not capitalism. That's an inflationary action.
No, that's making money.
Oh, making money.
Under the new making money.
Yeah, making money.
That's the new type of investment.
And
then you take that money, okay, and then you have taxes. Okay, let's say
taxes.
Say you raise taxes by $1, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you look statistically, what a government does when it takes in the U.S. government and all the governments in the U.S. When they take in $1, they always spend $2.6.
But how does that add up in a year when you want to do a budget? How does that even add up?
Well, it's kind of like having a credit card. See, the taxes are used to pay the minimum payment on your
credit card. You're limited.
So you can borrow more.
But how can you borrow more when you have a limit on the credit card?
You go to your creditors and you borrow more.
And who do you borrow more from?
China.
So
you borrow money from China.
Wait a minute, is that like the MasterCard Visa of U.S. government is China? Oh, okay.
So that's the new way. So Romney's old-fashioned, is anniquated. No one believes in that capitalism stuff anymore.
You mean earning money? The old-fashioned way doesn't exist anymore.
Investment. No one calls that investment anymore.
Oh, so
the new investment is like you would tax Peter to pay Paul.
Right.
And then you can always depend on Paul's vote. That's the new investment.
Oh, you can depend on Paul's vote because you're giving Paul money.
Right.
You take that from Peter.
Yeah.
Peter who earned it.
And
through
you
the old-fashioned way,
yeah,
and you give it to Paul,
yeah,
and then Paul says, "I'm going to vote for you, so I'm going to put
money
into your
campaign." You can print as much
you can. And Paul's saying, "Please print more.
Yeah, so
please borrow more."
So that's how it works.
And what happens? So China decides they're going to keep lending more.
Yeah.
But the problem is, isn't there a point where the value of the currency that's actually being generated by printing and by loans makes the economy fall apart because there's insufficient funds to run the government.
But what's the
because of the inflationary factor?
Well, the beauty of that is it's actually a hidden tax.
A hidden tax. How's it hidden tax?
Well, because the price of bread and the price of gas goes up.
The inflationary tax.
So people go, oh, those dang people, those dang capitalists are raising the price of gas. And they're raising the price of bread, which in fact, the currency is actually being devaluated because you're printing more, right?
Right.
And because the monetary policy.
Right.
But you can blame the people who
are selling
it.
But that's the new way. You're just printing it.
But you can blame the people who are selling you the gas.
Oh, then you blame them.
Yeah, it's their fault.
They can't make a profit.
And then you can take away their tax cuts.
Oh, their tax cuts.
Take away their tax cuts and tax them more.
Because they're making too much money.
Because they're making too much money.
They already earned enough.
Because like 2 years ago, you could get a gallon of gas for $1.50, and now it's $3 or $4, right?
Right. So well, no, actually, in where we live now, it's almost $5.
Okay, but the point is that's because the evil gas companies.
The evil gas companies.
It's got nothing to the fact that our currency's been devalued. So that's the beauty of it.
But there's another problem.
Yeah.
But we could get into that on a different show, and that's more of the fact that refineries aren't being allowed to be built.
Right.
There's a strong environmental basis that says that we have to have a specific mix of gasoline in California, and then on top of that, we aren't drilling. We don't have any alternative energy. And last time I saw, there's no cars that are run by solar, and there's no cars run by wind. Maybe that works on a lake with your little 10-foot boat, but it sure doesn't work on the highways.
Okay, and the other thing about that 53% number is also a little bit low. Because you also have government employees, which is maybe 20% of the population. So when
that's all union too.
So, but when you all look at
are we bringing the unions back into this again?
No, I'm just saying you're actually in like a 67% of people are dependent on the government.
Well, why would any of those people vote for Romney then?
What's that? They wouldn't.
Then what does that mean? Is the election foregone conclusion?
Well, I'm saying that they may, under certain situations, if they think, well, maybe we can only borrow and maybe we can only spend so long. But
you mean there might be some realists in that 53 or 55% that says maybe I should vote for a real capitalist?
67
or 67%.
But that's not to say that in this 47% and these 67, they're hardworking people, right? But they are
a lot of them are hardworking.
Hardworking, and maybe they're on Social Security. Maybe they work very
veterans.
hard. Yeah, veterans. So they earn that money, and they're getting their
but
government.
They earned it because they worked for it.
They're getting that government.
They're getting that government money.
Those are the people that Romney insulted when he made this comment.
Yeah, well, that's unfortunate because he was really meaning to talk about people that have been on the 5-year unemployment plan. That's when you increase unemployment benefits to 100 weeks or 200 weeks, wherever we're at today.
What he did is he just said I was a mistake and shouldn't have said it. So we don't know really exactly what he meant.
We don't know who he's talking about.
Yeah, I mean we don't know exactly how he meant it. He just said I disavow it. It was a mistake.
It was a gaffe. Watching the campaign, I will tell you that it was a gaffe. It was a pretty big gaffe, and considering how intelligent Governor Romney is, it's an interesting problem.
Right. So there you go on that one. But there is one more thing about taxes kind of interesting, that there was actually a federal judge who talked about that. And he said...
who was that? And
this is Judge Learned Hand, Halvorin versus Gregory, 2nd Circuit, 1934, 69, Fed 2nd, 809, 810-11. And I hate to get technical on this, but it's a very nice quote. Anyone may so arrange his affairs that his taxes shall be as low as possible. He is not bound to choose that pattern which will best pay the Treasury. There's not even a patriotic duty to increase one's taxes.
I like that.
So this is actually a slap in the face of the Secretary of Treasury here. Because
what's interesting is that our Secretary of Treasury is what's his name, Radner? You know why? I don't even want to remember him because he's actually came from Goldwyn Sachs. He came from there, which is interesting because he's saying they're too big to fail. So anyway, listen, on that happy note, they're too big to fail.
They're too big to fail.
But anyway, listen, Mark, thanks for the show.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute.
Everyone look at, Facebook.com /Law Talk TV show. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.